Hello, everyone. Hello, Pat.
Hi.
Hi. How are you doing?
I'm good this morning. I don't know. Here we go.
Us?
Let's try it again.
Good. All right. So third time's the charm. We're
I'm
gonna
on this stuff.
this internet stuff is gonna work this time.
Yeah.
We're gonna speak positivity into the internet world.
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
So for those joining us, we are Health with Soul, Real Talk with Norma and Pat. I'm Norma, and
I'm Pat.
she's Pat.
Yes,
All
I'm
right.
Pat. Pat, Pat,
Yes.
Pat. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So, other than technological difficulties, how's everything going this morning for you, Pat?
I'm going great. I can't, we woke up this morning, so I am so blessed. Yes. So, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
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 that's
yeah,
great. Yeah.
yes,
Same here. Same here. Just trying to stay warm.
yes,
Uh, as the weather figures itself out, we are in the northern Nevada area, and sometimes we have issues with weather.
yes. And this looks like one of those times because
Uh-huh.
all of a sudden we are just going from really, 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 really hot. I'm
Yes.
just going to make you cold.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's time to pull out some gloves and some jackets right now, but that's
Yeah.
okay. We'll be in the 70s again here soon.
Yes, yes, that's
Uh-huh.
good. That's a good
Yeah.
thing. Yes,
Yes.
yes.
So today we are going to discuss health and fitness trends and of 2024. So Pat, you were saying you've been seeing some fitness trends. What were they?
So a lot more, less, what's the word I'm looking for? Cardio and more in tune to just, like chair fitness, chair
Hmm.
workout, chair yoga, you
Hmm.
know a lot of things, less invasive, I guess is what I'm saying. But yeah, a lot of things where we're sitting down and moving more of our upper extremities and our lower extremities, like our legs. But that's the kind of trends that I'm seeing, folks going away from the gym. I'm seeing a lot more people,
Hmm.
exercising outside.
Yes. Yeah.
Outside. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we just did our anything but the gym group just did
Okay,
a fitness court exercise and it's
okay.
outside.
Yeah.
So all around the nation there's these things called fitness courts. Have you heard of them?
Yes, I have. Uh-huh.
Okay. So and you can become a fitness court ambassador.
Woohoo.
So I became an ambassador and I held my class there today. And I had a participant show up. Hey, if one person shows up, I'm so happy. I'm
Me, hey,
so
I
happy.
I totally understand that. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
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 especially when, you plan stuff and nobody comes.
yeah.
So having that one person show up and then she enjoyed it, but it's outside
Hmm.
and everything that you can do in a gym, well, not everything, but a lot of things that you can do in a gym, you can do on these courts.
Okay.
And it was just really refreshing. We had music going. It was crisp. I'm not gonna lie. We got the chill. We had to put on our sweaters, but we did our little jog around the park,
Oh
and
wow.
then we did the fitness court circuit. 30 minutes,
Yeah,
bang, done. We got our workout in for the day. I really enjoy working out outside.
yeah,
But for me, I've noticed people are moving, like you said, they're moving away from it. Do you remember a few years ago, HIT, that high
yeah.
intensity
Hi. Yes. Yeah.
train,
Yes.
like that
Yeah.
was the thing, the boot camps and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That was the thing, that really intense, just like
Yeah.
we're gonna kick your butt workout was it. And now people are going to, well, I want to work out, but I also don't want to feel like I'm dying when I'm
Right.
working
Yeah.
out. So I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm seeing. And then I I want to discuss at some time Ozempic. Mm.
Oh yes. Oh man. I didn't know you wanted to go there, but that is so awesome. Because you know, okay. So if I don't know. I'm always 5 to 10 pounds away from my goal.
Okay.
Okay. All
Uh-huh.
right. So if you want to do that later on in the program, that's cool. Or if you want to attack it now, but that's a trend. That's a trend.
Yes. Yeah, let's talk it now. Let's
All
do
right.
this.
Right on. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'm so glad you wanted to go there because, like I said, for me, I'm always 5 to 10 pounds away from the goal, right? So for
Mhm.
some odd reason, I'm under the assumption, I need this weight loss fix and I need something fast. But the Ozempic, right? Oh my goodness. And that's a trend.
It is.
And a lot of folks in terms of actors, stars are doing it. It's also too, when I go to the doctor, all I had to do was just say, you know what? I've heard about this Ozempic stuff.
Uh-huh.
Your insurance might cover it.
Wow.
Okay, instead of saying, I had, so I, like, I'm also a weird body wield. So I have two doctors, right? I know
Uh,
this is awful.
yeah.
One's not into that. And then
Uh-huh.
one was like, you know what? Why don't you try it? Why don't you see if your insurance is covered?
Hmm.
But I told her no. So
Uh-huh.
the trend, and I've heard a lot of horror stories about it,
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
well as it's very expensive, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
But so what's going
There's
on? So what's
so
going on? Are we going back to what we were doing in the early 2000s and the 90s and stuff, where we're going back to? I remember, like, in the early 2000s, everybody was doing gastric
yeah.
bypass. So
Hmm.
we go in cycles, is what I'm
Yep.
saying, trends, like and now we're not pushing the gastric bypass. We're
Hmm.
pushing, these weight loss drugs like Ozempic.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
And then there's so because of Ozempic, and people have seen success with Ozempic.
sure they have.
So for those who don't know, Ozempic is actually a diabetes
Yes,
medication.
yes, it is.
That's its original usage.
Yes.
And it is for people who are experiencing diabetes so they can get their blood sugar under control. However, people have also found when you use Ozempic, there's weight loss that occurs. And so people have started using this medication for weight loss purposes, even
Hmm.
though they don't necessarily have diabetes. Okay. Yes, and I think it's a trend because of the fact that there are horror stories out there. There's a paralyzation of the stomach.
The
So
stomach,
I'm
yes.
yeah, I'm not for me, I've personally I wouldn't take it because I'm the type of person of, well, when the medical issues start hitting, um I have to stop that medication,
Hmm.
then the weight just comes back
Oh,
on
comes
because of
back up.
the fact that y- Ozempic will shed you can shed weight and you don't have to do much of anything, it
Nope.
seems.
That's
So it's very deceiving in that nature, like, oh, I took off this weight and I didn't do much, but really to keep weight off, you do have to be active, you do have to do exercising, you do have to do these steps, and then it's not addressing the underlying issue. So if people have issues with weight, if people have issues with food, if people have issue and they're turning for food as their comfort
Mhm.
and they're eating for that comfort and they're gaining the weight, but if you take Ozempic, it seems it cuts your appetite off. From what I've heard, it cuts the appetite off. So it's a temporary suppressant
Mhm.
until you get off the medication,
Mhm.
and those appetites and those triggers still come back.
Yep.
So it's a band-aid fix in my view when it comes to weight loss and weight control and then just health and wellness. If you need it for diabetes, I get it. I
Yeah.
get it. If you're using it for just weight loss, I'm not a fan of it
Yeah.
because it's just a band-aid fix. That weight will come right back on once
Yeah.
that band-aid's taken off.
Yeah,
So,
and then it's very expensive, right?
oh God.
So what is it? Is it with Covey? Is that the one that they're talking about? I mean, they've got commercials and stuff, and
Mhm.
and they are actually rolling it out as a weight loss drug now. I
Yeah.
mean, and they got the, saying, big
Yeah.
singing, big things, have
Uh-huh.
folks that look like, real folks that have
Mhm.
dietary issues in terms of, they're actually folks that are trending on the larger size and look like they're losing weight and they're dancing and singing, but they are actually branding that. I think it is with COVID. I can't remember which one it is.
Yeah, I think
Is
so.
it
I
with,
think you're right.
and they're branding
Ovi.
it actually as a weight loss medication, but initially that's exactly what it was. It was a diabetic medication. And
Mhm.
yes, I have seen folks lose. I'm talking going from a lot to, like they're
Uh-huh.
looking sickly, okay, and
Yeah.
losing the weight. But just like you said, Norma, when they leave it,
Mhm.
if you haven't changed what you're doing, then it's like you said, it's a Band-Aid fix. So I'm kind of in the same camp that you're in, where nutrition, if you're thinking about, I don't call it weight loss. For me, it's a lifestyle change, right?
Yes.
I'm not dieting. I'm never dieting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because in my head, I'm supposed to be eating and doing and exercising or moving, doing
Mm-hmm.
the right things in the first place. And I think that that's where we have to go. We can't follow these trends, right?
Yeah,
We as folks, because they look like they go in,
they
10 to
do.
15 year cycles, as I said.
Yeah.
So I have always been to myself. I was a large child. I was a larger size adult. My grandmother, my dad, both were large. So, and then I passed those genes down to my children, my grandkids. And then finally you get maybe an endocrinologist or a good doctor that tells you, you know what? It's your genes. Part of it is hereditary, and
Mm-hmm.
some of it it's a mystery.
Mm-hmm.
I've had and I've had folks say, doctors say that we're practicing medicine, but there are some things, and sometimes they even go back and say, hey, if God says it's going to be this way. I've had
Yeah.
some say that as well. So with that being said, we have to learn not to follow the trends, and learn to live a healthy lifestyle and be satisfied with ourselves. I remember back in the 70s, they had Twiggy and,
Oh,
all these folks that were fashion, and they were thin. And then the thing was, that was the norm. That's what women were supposed to look like,
mm-hmm.
right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
so glad now that we have the Barbie dolls that are larger size. We have large size plus models. But my
Yeah.
thing are we believing in that, or is it just a trend? Do we,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. I think it's a trend all the way.
Okay.
And I just
Yeah.
because it's a trend, I'm waiting for the commercials to pop up that say, "Did you take this long?"
If you did, reach out to us because you can be part of that lawsuit.
Yes,
Hmm.
yes, and
Yeah.
to each their own. And I
Yeah.
do want to say to each their own.
Sure, sure.
If you want to do it, it's your body, it's your life. You're going to do what you want to do. However, I would like people and encourage people to educate themselves about what they're doing before they do something. To educate themselves before they're listening to their girlfriend who maybe is taking it and doing these things and they're having great wonderful results, but educate yourself
Educate.
on what can
Yeah.
happen down the road.
Yeah.
And that is what I just want to encourage people to do. And exercise, just get moving. And Pat's right, fitness is about health. If we
It is.
start changing our mind set around like dying, American culture is very much set in we have
Yeah.
to diet, we have to look like Twiggy, and some people will never look like Twiggy no matter what they do. They can do any and everything and they will never get to that Twiggy look, that
Never.
early 2000s look where the girls looked
Never.
anorexic. They'll
Yeah.
never get there.
Yeah.
And it's just your natural body shape
Yeah.
and your body has a set point.
Yeah.
So just educate yourself,
Be
educate.
educate and learn to be because okay,
Yeah.
so for us as African American females, right?
Yeah.
We're seeing the trend early on. I want to say 10, 15 years ago. The trend was you got to be thick, right? Everybody was getting the
The
Brazilian
big
butt
butts.
lifts,
Yes.
and everybody was following. We won't even say the name of that family, and getting plastic surgery, and making their hips and having this small waist and large,
They look like
breasts.
tooths. They look like
Yeah,
a tooth.
yeah,
It's a tooth shape.
yeah. And
Yeah.
and and that was the trend, that was the trend once again, right? And it's still in, right?
Mhm.
Because oh my goodness, you can go and people are dying, right? They're going and getting surgeries,
Yes.
plastic surgery, and they're dying on the table, getting injections of what their fat put to their butt. And
Mhm.
thank goodness us as African American female, hey, we come that way from the factory. We born that way. Most of us are. I
Yeah.
don't, and so it's more acceptable for you to be a little bit thick now,
Mhm.
whereas before it wasn't. But once again, folks, that's a trend, right? And we don't want to fall into that trend. We want to fall into lifestyles where it's something that we're livable with. I mean, I I don't know. As I said, I always see myself, and I can say, let's see, how long ago was it? This was about 22 years ago. So I had gastric bypass,
Hmm.
almost died from it. Okay,
Hmm.
I did research it. I was weighing like 280 pounds, and I'm only 5'2", so it was not healthy for me, right?
Hmm.
And my doctors, I researched it really, really well. My doctors were saying, okay, if we do this, it probably can add about, 10, 15, 20 years to your life,
Hmm.
because 280 pounds and 5'2", had high blood pressure, borderline diabetes, probably was going to have high cholesterol. And it wasn't because I was what I was eating. This was because I was sedentary and was not moving.
Hmm.
Okay.
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 Although I had considered myself a healthy, overweight person, because, I remember Richard Simmons, he was a fitness guru from
Yeah.
back in the 70s, 80s. He has since passed away. I think he had a
Yeah.
heart condition, but I used to go to his gym when I lived in California. So I was working out as a large size person, but then I'd stop.
Hmm.
I didn't make it a lifestyle.
Hmm.
And then when I stop, I'm just sitting there at work. I'm not doing anything for myself. Okay.
Hmm.
So what I'm saying with that is we have to build the healthy lifestyle into our life forever. Okay.
Yes.
Whatever, even if we're sitting here on the computer, move your hands, move,
Yeah.
just get your steps and park your car far away. But what I wanted to go back to say was I did gastric bypass. I researched it. I had every complication that there was, almost died from it, had to go back, have several other surgeries to fix it. I see the doctor to this day, and this was 22 years ago, folks. I have to see the doctor every 6 months. Okay, pill, my absorption of my vitamins. I'm
Hmm.
very cautious in terms of. So I have to take a lot of vitamins, lots and
Hmm.
lots. I have to still do protein shakes to make sure that I'm doing the absorption thing, because everything still goes through me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to boot, my body is used to that, right? So it knows even if I'm not hardly eating anything, it holds on to it. Bodies are very smart, folks.
Yeah.
That's why you have to trick them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's very much. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh,
And it's used to me not eating. And it's like, you know what? I'm going to hold on to that fat anyway. If you don't want to eat,
oh yeah.
you know what? Go ahead. Don't eat. I'll get you anyway. So what
Oh
I'm
yeah.
saying, what I'm saying is that you gotta be, in tune to what your body is. If you're seeing a physician, it has to be a lifestyle change. And every now and then you have to go back, you have to tweak it and do different things. You have to, yeah, there's no quick fix, folks.
There
That's
you
what
go.
we're saying. There's no quick fix. Um,
Yeah.
and if there's a lot of research being done in terms of obesity, that's the other trend now. But we're seeing trends where they're moving away from it, right? They're not researching the genetics behind it,
Right.
you know? And so,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just so many different things. But
Yeah.
I think for me, for folks, the quick fixes, just like Norma's saying, exercise, lifestyle change.
Yeah.
That's what I think
Yeah.
is the quick fix. It may not seem quick, but it eventually it's going to take you to where you need to be.
Hmm. Yes. Oh,
Ozempic. Oh boy.
very much. We'll leave Ozempic conversation there.
Yeah, yeah. We'll leave it there. We'll leave it there. But there's other drugs out there. They've
Oh
got
yeah.
the fentanyl. That's an old drug, but yeah, there's other. But I
Yeah.
think that's what people are going to. But
Hmm.
yeah, but going back to the fitness trends, yeah, like we were saying, the getting away from those high intensity things, the hit, type things,
Hmm.
and I'm seeing more folks do chair yoga, Pilates.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the American College of Sports Medicine, and
Okay.
they have a report on the
Hmm.
2024 trends.
Okay.
So there's their top 10 trends for 2024.
Okay.
Wearable technology, which is what this stuff, yeah, our
Yeah.
fitness watches,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Is that a
Um,
Fitbit? That's a Fitbit, or yeah,
y-
yeah.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
it's
I
a
have
fit.
one too. Yep,
Yes.
yep, yep, yep.
Then work site health promotion.
Okay.
That's number two. Number Oh, they don't know how to number this. I don't know. Number 4, they skipped 3, is
Okay.
fitness programs for older adults.
Yes,
Number
yes.
5 is exercise for weight loss.
I
Num-
see that one. Yeah.
Number 6 is employing certified exercises professionals. Ooh, that's a big
That's a big
pet peeve
trend.
of mine.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Okay. Okay.
Number 7 is mobile exercise apps that
Okay.
are
I have the same
instructional.
thing you have. How funny we
Uh-huh.
go.
Yeah.
I have
Number
the same one.
8 is exercise for mental health.
Yes.
9, youth
Youth
athletic
ethic.
development,
Yeah.
and then 10, personal
Personal
training.
training. Yep.
Yes,
That's what I
yes,
have. Oh wow.
yeah.
Great minds think alike.
Yes, they
Ooh.
do.
Yeah,
So
I like it.
these are the top trends that are of 2024. And for me, I want to go back to um, employing certified exercise professionals.
Okay.
Okay, that one is so the reason why I say employ exercise professionals who are certified is because of the education that is behind that certification.
It's a lot.
Yes, it is. So for myself, I'm ACE certified.
Right.
And ACE certified, I almost feel like I can go get a degree in like kinesiology or something because of the fact that the book that you have to read and then the mechanics. Yeah, it's like a 500-page book, right? And
Yeah.
then you take an hour and a half test just
Yeah.
to get the certification. ACE is one of the most stringent
Yes, it is.
certifying boards. So you go through this education because they don't want you to harm people. They
Exactly.
want you to know about how does the body work? How is it aligned? How is it interconnected? How are the muscles connected? How are the tendons connected? And how does this exercise affect those tendons so that you're not ripping someone's tendons or you're
Right.
not harming someone's muscles? They
Yeah.
want you to know about the medications that people are taking
Yes.
because medications affect exercise. If you have someone that is on high blood pressure medication, they can pass out
They can pass out.
because,
Yes.
so you have to be mindful of these things. Whereas of someone who is not certified, um, they don't necessarily have that knowledge. And I'm not saying
Right.
some people are very, very knowledgeable, but they don't get that interconnection where it comes to like the bone structure and like the
Right.
medication interactions and how does that work.
Yeah.
um I'm just someone who advocates for if you're going to get an exercise professional help you, get someone who's a certified personal
Right.
trainer, not just a personal trainer who looks good. Some people look great and they put themselves out there. I'm a personal trainer and they have no certifications behind it. They just look freaking great and they know how to get themselves to that level, but they don't necessarily know how to get someone else to that level without harming them.
Right.
So I am a huge advocate for being a certified individual.
Certainly. And so am I. I totally agree with you, Norma, on that, because just as you said, they don't know what to watch for. So I teach Zumba, right? So they put us through all these different trainings. But initially when I started Zumba, their training in terms of their warm up, okay, their warm up is really fast. Do you know the harm that you can do to your body if you go straight into a fast warm up without stretching?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm trained. I didn't quite get my certification because I haven't taken the test. I did the book and all that reading. Like you were saying, it's like, oh my goodness,
Mhm.
everything that you have to do, and then you have to stay up and you have to go back and
Yes.
that you get yeah, you don't just get that training and then you leave it at that. You
Uh-huh.
have to go back. I think is it every year or every 2 years or
Every 2
something?
years for
Every
us.
2 years, yeah,
Mhm.
and do a retest and take another refresher course, and that's important
Mhm.
because once again you can get stale. And so when I started the Zumba, like I said, I had to deviate from what they were doing. I'm like, there is no way that I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do a warm up without somebody stretching,
Mhm.
and as well as for 5-10 minutes stretching and then just going into intense cardio. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
So I know when I was working at the gym and was teaching Zumba, they have other Zumba instructors that come out and watch you to see if you're doing it correct. And they were telling me, you're not doing it the Zumba way. You're not doing your warm up correctly. I said, well, this is Pat's warm up and
Mhm.
I'm not going to take, and I gave them the reasoning behind it. And, the certification level for Zumba instructors is that you got to do the Zumba way. Right. And I'm like, well,
Mhm.
and I won't work at this gym because I'm not going to, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So I have my certification. We have to go back, and for Zumba, we have to pay monthly to stay certified, or you have to recert every year. So I'm paying monthly, and then I take the refresher, and then they have other courses that we can take. So I've taken their nutritional. I'm certified nutritional. They have the kind of personal trainer that course that they do, and then you can also get the ACE, like you were doing, and then the other. And then I was like, okay, but it's really important, just as Norma was saying, to have someone who is certified in like an ACE or the what's the other one,
AFSME, yeah,
yes,
AFSME,
right,
AFSME, something like that.
yeah, that's one
No,
that Zumba does, and they give us discounts for. But
AFSME. I'm sorry. Let me
I
correct
know
that.
what you're.
AFSME is the state.
Yeah,
It's the
no,
state
I know.
labor union.
I know what you're talking about. I know it's I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Whoops.
but no, that's okay. But it's important because you want to have someone that has taken the time out to educate themselves to know the body, and and watch, because I teach the old Zumba, so I have to watch everybody. Some of my people, I won't say kids, but they're 80 years old, and they're on medications and
Yeah.
things. So or they may have some type of physical or mental disability. So I have to watch that too and be cognizant of who is in my classes. So that's why I like doing the team teaching approach, where my daughter kind of does the fitness thing, and then I can be on the sideline walking around and saying, okay, I need you to hold your core, and I need you to breathe. I need you to, you're not doing that right. You wish your good
Yeah.
posture, and
Yeah.
because you can hurt yourself. So I'm glad that, Norma, that you believe in, the personal training, and that's one of the trends, right?
Yeah.
Is getting a personal trainer. I think that's really, really important, and make it where it's not, where we think it's not a trend, right? Make it where it's a
Yeah.
lifestyle.
Yeah, definitely. And
Yeah.
hey, it's all about lifestyle and
Yeah.
incorporating things into health. So you mentioned mental health.
Yeah.
And I like how the trend is becoming that exercise for mental health. So improving mental well-being through physical activity. In this, they said on here, it's the first time in the top 10.
Yeah.
What is that saying?
Wow.
Isn't that amazing? That little
First,
caveat, first time in
first.
the top 10.
Wow.
So I don't know how long they've been doing this
Hmm.
this this report.
Mm-hmm.
But is there I don't know how long they've been doing this report. I have to read that. But
Yeah, I'll have to. Yeah.
since 2006, the
Okay.
ACSM Worldwide Fitness Trends Survey has gathered input. So
Okay.
since 2006, this is the first time. So that makes me wonder, well, first off, what's going on with our mental health?
Or not,
Yeah.
or lack thereof.
Yeah, yeah. And then, exercise is one of, it is known, and it is known that it increases all sorts of hormonal levels of serotonin, dopamine, all those chemicals, all the happy
Yeah.
chemicals, right?
Yeah. She feels so
And
good.
yes, you feel accomplished. It just makes you, once you start doing it and you start getting over that fatigue, in the beginning, it is rough. I'm not going to lie.
Hmm.
If you're
Yeah.
coming into exercise fresh and you haven't been doing much movement or much anything for a while, yeah, you're going to be tired. You're going to be sore. You're going
Hmm.
to feel like, why am I doing this? What did I do to myself? I want to go sit down again. But I promise you, if you keep doing it, if you
Hmm.
just keep it up, those
Hmm.
those extra little chemicals, those happy endorphins and all that stuff,
Yes.
it starts kicking in, and you start feeling that pride that you did accomplish something. You feel that, just that sense of happiness. I don't know. To me,
You feel
I feel
good.
good.
You
Yeah,
feel good. I
you
mean, I don't
do.
know. When I'm done, I get the burst of energy, and it carries me through the rest of the day.
Yeah.
I don't know. It gives you some type of. It's weird because you can feel it. For me, I feel
Hmm.
it in my head, and it hits me, and I'm
Hmm.
like, and then so it takes me. So like when I'm teaching classes, so it's when I go. Sometimes it just depends. I don't even, and I'm quite sure you feel that way too. Sometimes you're going, you're like, oh my god, I just don't want to do this today.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
sometimes.
But then 30, I want to say 20 minutes into it, I'm like, oh, dang. And then you see the other folks out there sometime, and they're pumping you up.
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden it hits you, and you're like, wow, and let's go another half hour. Let's go
Yeah.
another, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
And
so
you need
it's,
it. You
and
need it. You
you
feel like
need
you
it.
need it. Mhm.
And so that's those are the benefits, right? Is
Mhm.
that you feel it mentally, it takes you to a different place and you feel so good.
Mhm.
Okay, you feel so good for the rest of the day, and maybe sometimes it carries on to the next day. But that's just odd that you said, Norma, that this mental health thing finally hit, the sphere of
Yeah,
being in the top 10. And if your mental health is not good, then your whole body, everything is not gonna. And I get it. Life is stressful. Life is very stressful. So I get it.
definitely. Yes.
Yeah, I
So
know.
with that being said, if anyone, and since we're touching on mental health, if anyone
Yeah.
has any mental health issues locally here in Nevada, we have a 211
Yes.
number that people can call if they need mental health resources
Yeah.
or any sort of help like that. So,
Yeah.
all right, so we can
Yeah.
finish it there.
All right.
Yeah, but thank you for
Yes.
this discussion. Like always, it's great.
Yes.
And I can't wait to talk next week, and
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
go back here next week
Yes.
then.
Yes, exactly. Real talk here. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it is.
mean, yeah. And if reach out to your physician, if there's issues with your mental health that you, or, take a look at these trends, Google it, like what we did and research it just a little
Hmm.
and look at the trends.
Yeah,
It'll help you.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, Pat.
All
Well,
righty.
you have a wonderful rest of the day. Everyone have a beautiful
Everybody.
day, and we will see you next week.
All right. We'll see you. All right. Have a great one, folks. Thank you. See you, Norma.
Thank you. Bye,
Bye
Pat.
bye.
Bye, everyone.